KB Experiment.
Episode number 6, the KB Experiment. We're back. I made it another day. I'm tired, but it's all good because I got another episode in the bag. So, we're going to talk to Andy Audate. I'm going to have all his stuff on the description. Make sure to follow him on Instagram and go to his website. Definitely got some good content. So if you're into positivity, growth, and success, don't be shy. Go hit him up. Also, hit me up on Instagram at King Borris. King_Borris with 2 R's. I got a lot going on, and I love the support. But as always, we need more. Anybody out there that wants to be on the podcast, let me know. Anyone out there that wants to leave a message, a voice message, text message, there's an option through this Anchor app where you could do that. It's all in the link in the descriptions. Just click it. Leave me a message, good or bad. It is what it is. I'll put it on. But I appreciate you guys again for listening. I got a number of episodes in the bag already, so I have content close to the end of the year. So hopefully the plan is to release an episode every Sunday night. So that way y'all could have something to listen to during the week. If you can go on to iTunes and give me 5 stars, that I appreciate. The support helps, especially when you guys leave positive feedback and 5 stars. You know how it is. It's all about ratings. So help me out with that and let me know. And the last thing is, there is a donation button in the podcast, in the Anchor app. And if you like the content, please support me. I appreciate it. Whatever you could do. Why? Because this stuff costs money. You know, I don't get paid for this. But at the same time, I would love to upgrade my equipment and upgrade whatever it is that I have. Put some ads out there to get the podcast out a little more. If y'all could just share it with your friends, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram stories, whatever. I mean, whatever you could do. It doesn't even have to be monetary. If you guys could put it out there, I appreciate it. This word of mouth thing works, if y'all haven't noticed. But again, whatever you could do. Questions, issues, concerns, y'all know how to reach me. So, let's get this episode started. Guys, I got Andy Audate here with us. Andy, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm amazing, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm hiding in my closet for my kids, like I do every episode.
You gotta do what you gotta do when you gotta do it.
Always. So let's get into it. You had a conference yesterday, you said?
Yesterday I had a speaking engagement. However, the day before that, I did have the conference. I had the progression conference in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I've been looking those up, man. You got some very, very interesting people coming to the conferences, and you're rubbing elbows with some big people. You know, a lot of us know, some of us don't. But Les Brown's one of my favorite. I love that guy. He is inspirational. Definitely changed my life when I found him.
Oh man, that's exciting news, man. That's great to know.
Yeah, I've listened to him for a while. I've read his books, and I think the way he delivers his message in itself is what turns me on to it. You know, because the message is what it is. I mean, his story is amazing, and that, you know, I look up to that man. You know, he's a mentor. Not directly, because I've never talked to him yet, but from all his content, everything he's put out, he's definitely made an impact in my life.
Right on, brother. That's powerful. Yeah, you know, having the right people in your circle, having the right people to listen to, that's very important in life.
Yeah, I kind of learned that. Not as young as you. You're about what, 22, 23?
No, I'm 24 years old now.
24, okay.
But I started a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the beginning. What got you into all this?
Into the personal development or into business?
I'd say personal development. I like to start there.
Right on. So personal development started off real young, when I was playing basketball, and I was learning how to I was learning just essentially the mindset of overcoming and the mindset of achievement. And when I started playing ball, I was listening to motivational speakers like Les Brown and Tony and Eric Thomas at it. And that's how it got me started into personal development. And then about 6 years in, that's when I wanted to become a producer of personal development, and I got into speaking.
So speaking is not easy. You know, obviously a lot of people have stage fright and things of that nature. Was it something that came natural to you, or did you have to work at it?
Well, I was considered a class clown in middle school and high school, so it was kind of easy. But I was always a shy person. I wasn't naturally flamboyant or timid or an extrovert. I was naturally shy and internal, if anything.
I got you. But I'm sure with your friends and you know, classmates, you get used to after school year starts, so you would just let yourself out versus a crowd of people that you don't know.
Well, honestly, Borris, really what I was looking to create or looking to experience was connection, man. I wanted to be connected to people. I was tired of being alone. I was tired of feeling by myself, and I thought that the route to create that or make that happen was to be the one to make people laugh.
Very true. Yeah, I was like that when I was younger. A little wilder though. I think they celebrated when I left school. But you know, that's when I realized I learned a lot, and a lot of your life gets molded from high school and on, that whole part of your life, because you don't understand what's going on. You take in so much subconsciously that you carry that. It seems that you were able to, I would say, decipher the fact that you can purposely change your life and focus on what you want and achieve what you want at an earlier age than a lot of other people. There's a lot of other people that don't do this until they're 30, 40, 50 years old. So, you know, we come across someone who's right now 22, but even before that, you know, we're going to look at you as a very, very, you figured it out early. And that's amazing because not everybody does. You know, it's a slow climb.
We're going into a new economy or a new world where we're able to gather data at a quicker rate. So the next, and you're seeing it happen now, where in order for someone maybe in the 90s, in order to learn business, they would really have to dive into those books and consume it through reading or consume it through mentorship. And nowadays with technology, you're able to transfer data very fast, where I can record a video and share it online live or instantaneously or within an hour or within a few minutes. So recognizing that, I was able to grow at an exponential rate because my mentors, who I've yet to meet in person, gave me their content through social media. And then we're starting to see more and more of that, where there's younger people, because the content is so readily available.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, back in the days, I started off with CDs. I had a friend of mine give me a Earl Nightingale CD. It's like 42 minutes long. The Strangest Secret, I believe it's called. And man, I listened to that in my car. Totally changed my life, because that's the first time I had audible content that I could just sit there and take in, versus sitting there and reading a book, getting interrupted, trying to understand the words a certain way. Because everybody understands things differently. You know, I could sit there and read. I have to read over and over again to really get a grasp of it. But if I hear it, someone tells it to me, you know, I take it differently. So you're definitely right about that. I guess you could choose what you want to let into your mind, especially in these days with, you know, all the garbage that comes out on. Just the same as you can pick a business audio book versus something that's not really going to.
Yeah, I think you're really starting. You got to first start and say to yourself, which direction do you want to go in, and then it starts from that point on. Like, everything else is going to be available to you as soon as you make the decision. So if you say, hey, I'm willing to get uncomfortable and I'm willing to go out and learn personal development, then you're going to start experiencing those wins, and it's going to be slowly but surely. Equivalently, if you start saying like, hey, I know there's something better out there for me, but I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. I'm going to be around the naysayers and the doubters, and I'm just going to hang out with them.
Yeah. And some of those people are your best friends. You know, you stay close to them because I mean, you've been friends for so long, but in the long run, you sometimes realize that they're not helping you move up in life. And I think Gary Vee says it, where it's tough, but sometimes you have to let go of the people around you, even the people that you love, if you want to get ahead. Because, sometimes it's the only way to grow.
Yeah, someone asked me
feel
at the
about
progression conference. He said, someone asked me, he said, because I do a lot of stuff where I talk about family, because family's important to me. Mm-hmm. And he asked me, he said, what happens when they don't believe in you? And I said, hey, man, let me tell you something. My family didn't start believing in me until this year. Until this year. Then they start seeing, like, oh, shoot, like, and what Andy's doing, there's something to it. So in the beginning, because they're really just trying to protect you. They really just want to make sure that you're safe, and they know that trying to go after your goals can lead to failure, and failure can lead to depression and sadness. So they're really just trying to protect you from all that.
Very true.
But they don't see the win about you being successful just yet, because they don't see it for themselves. So how can they see it for you? Right.
It's your vision. It's your story. So it's only so many people that are going to understand it. But that makes sense. You talk about your purpose, that you have a purpose. Can you speak on that? Like I read it on your website. I was going through your website, and you talk about purpose, about influencing people, helping people. I know you had that help when you were younger, and that's what led you to all this. Is that when you realized that you wanted to do the same thing?
Help as in what?
Well, help. I mean, you help people, not just business-wise, but mentoring them, how to create a better circle, I'm assuming, be a better person.
I share with you that my belief is that people depend on you.
Okay.
That there's a group of people that's solely dependent on you. I had at the progression conference a couple of days ago, I had an individual who works for a company, who works in a company that does like insurance policies. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I said, hey, when does someone need a life insurance policy? And his response was, because I said to him, I said, hey, I'm 24 years old. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. Do I need an insurance policy, life insurance policy? He said, realistically, no, you don't need an insurance policy. You need an insurance policy when you have dependents, when people depend on you. And I said, hey, man, everybody in this room depends on me. Because you're at the progression, not only that, because you're at the progression conference, and I was the one that created it, but I truly believe that in me becoming the best version of myself, that other people are going to benefit. So when that person meets their mentor at the progression conference, that person was totally dependent on my decision. When Brady, who was a 23-year-old young entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur who had no direction in life, when he came to the progression conference and he met his now mentor who is teaching him the ropes about business, Brady was completely dependent on me. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I don't say that to be selfish. I say that to share with that I have a purpose. I had a purpose in his growth. Equivalently, Borris, when someone hears this and says, "Oh shoot," or when someone hears content from your podcast based on the people that you interview, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to go into a new direction on life because of this podcast or because of what I heard in this podcast," they were dependent on Borris, right, on you creating this. Equivalently in their life, the listener now, that there's a group of people, as you become successful and go after your vision, there are people who depend on you. So it's imperative that you go after your vision, because those people who depend on you are going to experience the benefits of it.
Very powerful. Very true. And definitely I don't take it in a cocky way that you're saying it. I understand how you're saying it. It's like a lot of people have egos and they won't even accept the fact that people depend on them because they don't see their own self-worth. Seems like you see your self-worth, you know where you stand. And a lot of people don't, which is a big holdback to some great people out there that could do great things, but they just don't feel that they're worthy, that they're the ones to do that. Not that there's this particular person, that it could be anyone. You're out there helping people. I've done my share of things over the years. It took me a bit to realize, wait a minute, I am someone that can help others. I'm not just some guy that is talking and... Oh, you there?
Realize, and so it sounds to me as if like you're saying that. How old are you, Borris?
39.
Yeah. So if you're like comparing the age or putting the age side by side, it's like there's a gap. However, I had an interview with this one guy. Right, this one guy was 42, and his life, and he became an entrepreneur at 42. His mind became conscious at 42. He started seeing the possibilities of success at 42, and then now he's 47. So when he gets around people who are in their 20s or 30s, I'm sure he questions like, and what he shared with me, that he questions like, hey man, what about all this time that I wasted? However, there's another person who is that person's coworker, and the other person is 33, and it took that person 13 years from 33 to get to where that guy was at 42. So essentially, what I'm saying is that it took the first guy 42 to 47 to become successful. He became a millionaire or whatever at 47, and then it took the other guy 13 years. So one took 5, one took 13, and I share that with you because essentially for your listeners that may be higher in age, where like for example, I have students who are 63 or 73, and their experience that took them up to 63 or 42 or whatever, their experience can catapult them in the next few years of their life. So someone who might be 25, it might take them 20 years to figure shit out, when someone who's 40 might take them 5.
Right. Okay, I get you. Experience, age, all that has a factor.
Exactly. Experience, age, it all has a factor. Like it's all about the long run overall, man. Because I gotta be honest with myself, man. And I might die by 25, man. I don't know. I might die by 25. So that means I got 2 more months to live. But someone may look at me and say, I'm 24 years old, and oh man, I'm living the life. But because I died at 25, I didn't get to do anything much more. So that person who's 49 or 45 gets the opportunity. So there's so many different ways to look at it. But age is not a determining factor. Experience is not a determining factor. It's what we have, which is right now. What are you going to do with right now?
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely believe in that. It makes a lot of sense. So you have the progression. It's crazy, man.
Tupac died at 25.
Say it again.
I said it's crazy because Tupac died at 25.
Yeah. I mean, you have. I mean, you never know when you're going to go. And if you live too far in the future, I think that sometimes that could be a waste. That's just a personal thought of mine. Try to live every day as it's going to be your last, but still have a focus on the future at the same time. Not just live in the future and don't live now because you think, oh, well, I'll live when I'm retired. You might not make it to retirement. I have friends who save all their money, and there's times where I spend all my money, and I'm like, you know what? I'll make more. I'll get more, but at least I took that vacation, had that fun, spent it on that car that I like, and I'm enjoying life as I live it, but I still focus, okay, I still got to save peanuts over here and do this over there for the long run. Because if it doesn't happen and I do go, that's it. It's done. There's no more. So I feel you on that.
Oh yeah.
So progression conference. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, the progression conference is a one-day business event where people come together in one room, and I bring the top successful people in my network, but not only that, who are movers and shakers throughout the United States of America, and sometimes internationally. I bring international speakers, and it's to teach people how to make more money so they can experience time freedom, true financial freedom, so they can spend time with their family. One of the biggest determining factors that didn't allow me to spend time with my family was lack of money. So what the best situation I can do to make a change is show people how to make money, because when I made my first $1 million, I was 21 years old. I was able to move. I was able to live in luxurious apartments. And some people may say, "Oh, it's good for you. Congratulations, or good for you. I don't care." But I share that with you because I experienced both. I experienced when hot dogs and ramen noodles was like the gourmet meal. It cost 73 cents for that meal. But I also experienced filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can tell you 100% filet mignon tastes way better than the ramen noodles. I'm just trying to get some people who feel me on this level and say, hey man, I'd rather experience a filet mignon. If I recognize that I'm gonna die one day, might as well go hard right now and experience like the filet mignon when I want to.
Sweet. Yeah, that's definitely true. Have you ever mixed the two?
I think success
filet
really
mignon
comes down
to... No, go ahead.
I think success comes down to essentially is to be able to. It's not that you have to. It's to be able to. Like, I can buy the filet mignon if I want to. Do I want to? Not necessarily. Why? Because, hey man, I might gain a little bit of weight. Hey man, you know what? I don't like this steak. It's too salty. Hey man, I don't want to. But it's the fact that you can if you wanted to. That's all. That's freedom.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm with you on that. Have you ever mixed the filet mignon and the ramen noodles?
No.
Make a full meal. That's a past meal and a future meal.
Yeah, no, I have.
Why are you eating ramen noodles and filet mignon? I was like, why not? I like it. It tastes good.
Right. No, I haven't done that. That's definitely.
Put a new standard on it. That'd be crazy. How many conferences have you done already?
I think I've been involved with about 15 to 20 of them.
Yeah, I was watching your videos, man. I definitely like the whole layout, the presence, the atmosphere. Because I've been to a few different conferences. I've been to the Tony Robbins experience, the 4-day thing. Like, I've done all that, and yours is I like yours. It has good vibe, good atmosphere. You're always energetic, happy. And I think that's important.
I'm at the Progression Conference. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, there's a certain vibe at the Progression Conference, man. I think definitely the we pray at the Progression Conference. We say a prayer to start off the event.
Okay.
It's very interesting, and I don't know. I have yet to experience someone to. I'm waiting for it. I know it's gonna come, but I have yet to experience someone who's like, why would you pray that? Like, it was everyone is about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we pray. We ask God to come in and be a part of this event, and then like miracles happen, man, at this event. Like, it's crazy. Miracles happen. People move to different states and different cities after coming to this event. People experience financial differences in their bank accounts in surplus after this event. Like. So that's why I made it a mission to do more of these, and now I'm doing them in different countries and different. I'm doing it in different states now.
Okay, yeah, I think you were in Houston. I missed that. You'll be back next week or next year. Maybe.
Yeah, I did a Houston event, and then did Dallas, and then now we're going back to Dallas in 2020, and we're going back to Houston in 2020.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. That's I hate to miss good events, and Dallas is a 4-hour ride, so Houston, I'm here, so I don't mind waiting. But
we did Dallas on Friday. We did Houston on Saturday. Like, so I think we drove from LA to Dallas on from Los Angeles. It took us 20 something hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove to Arizona. I think we left on Tuesday. We drove to Arizona. I did a podcast with a couple of young entrepreneurs in Arizona,
mm-hmm.
and then left Arizona, went to Dallas, all in one way. Like, we didn't stop, nothing. And then we went to Arizona. We went to Dallas. Got to Dallas, did an event. So we got to Dallas at 7 p.m. on Thursday. We did an event in Dallas all day. Then my team broke down. We had dinner with some attendees, and then we drove to Houston, and then did a whole another event, and then drove back to Los Angeles. Barely slept.
Damn. That's
but we did it for the audience, man.
You get that fuel. They fuel you. I mean, I'm sure people are waiting and counting on you. That's going to give you that energy that you need. And I feel you on that. And that's a lot of driving. That's crazy. All the way from LA to Arizona.
Oh man, that must have been like 64 hours of driving. 64 hours.
But hey, you got to live it. You got to be about it. So that you're doing it. I'm going to break real quick for this sponsors. and I'm gonna bring it back in just a moment. So we'll be right back. All right, so I get people from time to time asking me how I record my podcast. And I tell them it's simple. I do it on my phone, and I have a plug-in speaker. All I need is a quiet space and my phone. And it's free. They have all kinds of tools to help you do it, to edit, to cut, to ad-lib, whatever it is that you want. And once it's ready and you upload, Anchor has you all set up where you post it or upload the audio once or the episode, and it'll distribute it across other platforms like Spotify or podcasts or Apple Podcasts. And I mean, it does it all for you, which is pretty neat because sitting there trying to upload stuff forever takes forever. And you can make some money. So there's sponsorships, no minimum listenership. I mean, it's pretty darn easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast in your pocket. So go download the free Anchor app and go hit anchor.fm and get your podcast started. We're back and we're going to continue. So I'm going to break into your mastermind. Is your mastermind different than your progression conference? Is that like a separate... Like you have a mastermind of your own? Are you involved in masterminds? Like I'm just trying to talk about the mastermind.
No. So I had a monthly mastermind program that people pay. I have people that are in the program right now, but it's a monthly program which I'm going to end up making some changes to it. However, I don't have a group right now. I'm really focusing on the business aspect and growing my business. I don't want to turn my business into like a bunch of masterminds and. So I'm focusing on other businesses. So I have a marketing business, Audate Market, where we work with different small business owners and teach them how to market as well as do marketing for them.
Okay, I got you. And then No More Average. That's your book. That's the
first book. That's the first book that I wrote. I wrote that in 2017. I wrote that book. It started in 2016, and I remember. The first title was gonna be "It's Not Okay to Be Average." It's not okay. Then, and then I was gonna title it "It's Okay to Not Be Average." And then I ended up switching it and said, "Yo, no more average." And essentially, it's attractive for the people that recognize that they're in an environment that's not conducive to their vision and their goals. And I confirmed their thought process in the book where I teach them how to get out of their current environment and get to a better one, and how important it is.
Very good. Yeah, I saw the books. I saw your different people holding the book. You know, I did a little bit of research and found a lot of information on you in that book. I looked at it. I was like, man, I like that. No more average. You know, it's like just like you said, you had different ways of saying it, but that no more average. That's it. It's like I'm tired of this. No more average. We're done. Like that was you know what I mean? The name of the book feels like you said, fuck it. This is it. No more average. And then you just kept going. You know what I mean? You go through different levels of trying to reach a certain point until you finally say, I can't take this no more. And that's when you make the change. To me, the title reflects that. No more average.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we experienced where when I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, when I constantly had to open up new businesses and reinvent myself, I didn't want to be average. And the way that I recognize not to be average is by changing my environment.
Yeah. And again, I've seen I'm hard into Instagram, and as I go through people's feeds, you know, it tells a story. But I could definitely see a lot of the people that you've been, like your circle. Your circle looks well defined, if you will. You know, not just the Tony Robbins and the Les Browns, but even just the other people that you either mentor or you let them mentor you. You could just see that there is a good circle, a good network there. You know, it's not sloppy. It's you're surrounded by what you want to be and what you want to do, and I could see that.
Right. Yeah, no, and I'll tell you, that's one of the most important aspects of the relationships that I have is recognizing that your circle will make you or break you.
Right. Very true. Very true. I'm going to talk about one-on-one attitudes. So you're very one-on-one with people.
What do you mean by that?
Like one-on-one, you take the time to talk to people individually. So even if you're doing these progressive conferences and you're in large groups of people, you still take the time out to talk to somebody and really listen to them and understand them on a one-on-one level.
I tell you, man, though, it comes down to really what I experienced the intention to be is. Some people are gonna come to me and say, "Hey, I want to get on your podcast, Andy," or "I want you to get on my podcast," for example, because I want you to share it to my audience because I truly, genuinely believe in you, Andy, and then I also want to support my audience. Some people are gonna do it because they're more of a clout chaser, and they're just doing it for ill intentions, where it's more of like I gotta feed my ego. And
I
so
see.
I'm able to sniff that out as much as I can. And like there's people that want to get on stage, for example, right? And I can tell that when they start creeping up behind me at a conference or whatever, and they start creeping up behind me, and they're like, "Yo, hey man, like, can I get on stage?" And it's not coming from a place of like serving or
they're not genuine.
Yeah, well, they're genuine, but they're genuine in which intention? Are they genuine in the intention to serve their ego, or are they genuine in the intention to, I think I can really support some people, man. Like, I'm really trying to go after my dreams of taking care of people and supporting other people.
Makes sense. Well, I bring that one-on-one up because as I've looked into what you do, a lot of people speak about that they appreciate and they like the fact that you'll sit there and talk to them, especially the people that take it in. Because you go to some of these conferences, you can't go talk to certain, because they're not there. They're on stage, honestly, and they're out. You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's like, I would say, like, how do you say this? Like the standard operating procedure in this business of being a public figure is purposely keeping a distance. So when I first started, not even first started, I literally just started now. But when I did an event and I asked for counsel, I asked for mentorship from the wrong person. And this person essentially was telling me, "All right, man, here's the game plan. You can't be seen, you can't be touched. So this person was gonna be the MC of an event, and what he told me was that the less they see of you, the more that they're gonna buy, the more that they're gonna want to be around you, so on and so forth." So I listened to what he said, and I said I went up to my hotel room. He emceed for me, and it was true. Like, the people saw me less. So once they got to me, because my face was everywhere, I was essentially like a little celebrity to them. So I got all these people asking for my autograph of the book that they bought and taking pictures and so on and so forth. However, I didn't feel like I was actually serving people. I didn't feel like I was supporting people. I felt like I was more of like trying to become a public celebrity rather than be a servant. So I had to stop doing business with those type of people. And now the text messaging platform that I use, where I can send a lot of text messages to all, like, for example, I'll text 300 people at one time. If you call that number, I actually get the call. It goes to my cell phone instead of going to an automated line, which it should.
Right. Like a virtual assistant or something.
Or a virtual assistant. Yeah, I actually want to give myself. So the answer is yes. I do spend a lot of time with people, and I do want to connect with people because but it's when it's genuine. That's all.
Right, and I bring it up because I see what people say, and that's one thing they said about you. Is that you talk to them and they feel like you took the time to listen to them, and a personal connection is important. Maybe in the days it was, I know that program that person you said was talking about seem like you're someone special, that to be in your space you have to earn it, and I don't think it's like that anymore. You know, social media and so much connection nowadays. See, I have my own little media agency, and what I do with the people that I work with is I tell them you can't hide so much anymore. You have to interact with people, engage with people, especially if you want them to do whatever it is you want them to do, be positive. You know, I have one gentleman who's very big into the veteran community, and he supports the veteran community. And I tell him, you have to get out there and speak to them, not necessarily face to face, but even if you do it on Instagram, on Facebook, DM people, that little connection right there makes such a huge difference. And, you know, back then I get it. We didn't have social media. So you saw everybody's face in a book, and okay, they're on a stage, but for you to sit there and talk to them, you would have to pay money. There was always something. But today it's totally different. So I think that one-on-one approach is amazing because it builds real people connections. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Being there is very important. Being accessible. So I'm very accessible. Some would advise me not to be, but I'm accessible, right. and I make it apparent. Right.
No, and again, I noticed that. So you were talking about sniffing out the ego clout chasers and all that. So people ask you to do things here and there. So one of my questions, and I asked some of my guests this question: would you agree to?
What's the what? I don't understand.
Why did you agree to come on my show and speak to me and speak to the audience?
Oh, because I've seen your Instagram profile has been is familiar. So I recognize that you're a consumer of me. So when you and I speak, that the direction of the conversation, you already know, and I already know, is going to go in alignment with my message. There are some people who are who message me, and I have no relationship with them whatsoever. So I might ask them some questions about me. What about me? You're gonna have me on your show? And it's like, dude, I don't even know what I'm gonna ask you. I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
You know, so for all I know is, and I'm willing to do any type of episode, but for all I know, this person's gonna bring up nonsense and is gonna talk so surface that's not even gonna be serving the person that's listening.
Hey, and I would tell everybody that's 1,000% true, because I said, hey, let's do a call before the podcast. You're like, no, let's just get into it, and it should just go with the flow. That's literally what we did. We didn't prep for anything. And I mean, I have my notes and everything, but at the end of the day, you know, this is 100% organic. Like, we literally just got on the phone right here and said, let's do this podcast. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I know that I haven't spoke to you before, but I knew that in the question that you were going to ask, it would have been in somewhat, at minimum, somewhat, or if not really deep, because I know that you're a consumer of my content, and then we've also been connected on social media, and we've developed a social media relationship at least for the last 6 months to a year.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. Well, that's cool. I love to ask that question because sometimes people don't know how to answer it. Sometimes they do. I want you on the show because I want my audience to learn and to know what sources are out there that they can, you know, take in that I know are good. I don't like to just refer my people to somebody that I don't know or who's just trying to make money, or, you know what I mean? Like, you seem authentic, you seem real, and you're about what you live what you preach. And that's what I like to pass on to people because it's important. You know, there's dudes out there that just sell the dream, but they've never lived the dream. They're making the money off of selling the dream itself, and then they live it. And that's and I'm not gonna say dishonest, but it's just not something that I think helps anyone. And you don't have that vibe. And I said, you know what? I want to get this young man on the show, and I want my audience to really listen. And hopefully they'll end up in your court. You can mentor them. You can help them. You know, that's what I like to do. Connections, network, success stories. And success is different for everybody. I know that. But I just think succeeding in anything is success. It's not always money. It's connections. It's how you live your life. I can succeed by just being happy and living a good life. I don't have to be rich.
Right. So some don't. Some do. I think if you feel fulfilled, then hey man, more power to you. But just know that you also got to take responsibility for the decision that your audience makes. So if your audience, someone in your audience says, hey, it's okay to not be paid, just know that when hard times come around, which way they will, you're gonna experience those hard times amplified. So when the taxes go up or the economy crashes, some people aren't really affected to that in their natural life, and some people that breaks them down.
Yeah.
So just know that the decision that you make, there's also consequences that are unbeknownst to you at this current moment as conditions change.
Gotcha. Powerful stuff, man. What's the future look like for Andy?
The future looks like, so I'm building a marketing firm, and as well as continuing the growth of the Progression brand, as well as writing and producing more content to really give people different angles to the same common goal, which is the ultimate life. So there's a plethora of different content and different points of views that gets to be shared to really give people access to the best version of themselves.
Very, very good. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the journey. I've seen a lot. I'm seeing and watching and taking note of a lot of different people's journeys, and that's one thing I love to see people win. I love to see people progress and move ahead. And I remember, I think it's been close to a year that I've been watching your content, and little by little, I could see the growth. And I'm
actually,
like,
I think I remember where we first connected, and I think I reached out to you, and I believe because I remember seeing your icon, because it's not a picture of your face, it's like a cartoon, and I remember seeing that, and I showed because that intrigued me, like that type of design intrigued me, so I went to your page and then I reached out, and then we kind of connected that way. So
I believe so.
So that's dope, man. That's dope that we created this.
Yeah, it's and that logo, it went through many stages, but I literally focused on my personal brand, and I wanted to make it visual where people look at it, they're like, I don't know, I like that looks good, and they associate it with me. So like the logo builds its own little audience, so then when they get to my profile, then from there I got to make sure my content's in line with the people that I want to commingle with, if you will. But that's I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that logo. It's crazy, because I purposely made it that way. I said I want something that is going to appeal to people's eyeballs. So they see it, they're like, man, I don't know why I like it. But now what happens is my beard is shorter. The first thing they say is, what's going on with the beard? You got a big beard in the logo, but you don't have one. I'm like, I cut it. I was like, I had to shave it down a bit. So it's become its own little thing, which is, that was the intention.
It's become so iconic that they expect you to be the logo to be you.
I'm 100%. Like in the last few, 2 months ago, I went to the barber. I was like, hey, I need to shorten it up a bit, clean it up, and make it look nice and professional. He's okay. So he comes in and shaves it to like a number 1, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, you just cut off my whole beard. I mean, I can't. Shit. I wasn't mad because it is what it is. I was like, well, it's done. So, but as it grows back, when I hand out my card, when I hand out my stickers, they always look at me and the beard and go, that's the first thing they say, tell me about this beard, because you don't have a long beard. And I have to explain, well, it's down here. And so I'm telling you, it's a powerful thing. It works. So, you're on point when you said that, because a lot of other people have said that. And I think the logo itself has brought me more traffic than my message, because there's so much out there. Your eyes are moving 1,000 miles a minute. What do you put out there that people are going to stop for that split second? Go, what's this? Because there's no attention span at all.
Right.
So you have to learn how to just pick at it just for a second. So that's how all this kind of started and just came about, was marketing, branding, and and then just trying to be as authentic on my end. But that's pretty cool.
So what is the goal of the podcast?
The goal of the podcast is to talk to people that have achieved some level of success. Not necessarily, Brad Pitt type success, Jay-Z type success, just average to above average success. Talking to someone who has $1 billion is kind of hard. Like, I can interview Jeff Bezos, but what benefit is that going to be to real people every day? Versus, and like I think you said that how are you going to make $1 million if you don't know how to make $100,000? Right. I think it's the same thing with success. How are you going to be successful if you don't even know how to succeed at one thing? So having these conversations of how it started and where it led up to starts to point out these little steps. And like you said, somebody might listen to it and go, oh, you know what? I've never heard that get explained that way. So that's that one sentence might change someone's life to go, you know what? That's the piece of the puzzle I needed to move forward in the success of my life. Because you could hear it a million ways, but somebody's going to say it the right way that you understand. You know what I mean?
So that's very, very important, man. Because you got to level up.
Right, but you got to know that there's different levels. So when I talk to people, everybody's story is different, but the same. And at the same time, everybody's actions are different and the same. So as people listen and go, you know what? I've had that failure. Okay, I get it. And then they can move forward. And that's the whole point, man. If I could just sit here and have conversations about positive things in real life and not bullshit people, then I'm pretty sure that they're going to get value from it, because it's going to be on a level that, like on a level playing field, not just a bunch of millionaires talking about things that people that don't even make $100,000 a year can even comprehend. Like that's a whole different league in my eyes. But I want to stay with, because I'm not a millionaire. I've made good money, I've lost money, I've done all that. But talking about success and how I had $80,000 in the bank a year ago and now I have 1,000, and then bringing it back up to 80, like, how do you even do that? We're not talking about millions, but we're still talking about how can I make $10,000 and hold on to it? How can I make 20,000 or whatever the goal is? Not necessarily just money, but even mentally getting out of a rut. A lot of people feel like shit every day because that's where they put themselves. And I have other guests that are going to come on and we're going to talk about that mental success versus that financial success, if that makes sense. Because you could have all the money in the world, and a lot of people do, and they still end their lives. They still live miserably. So we know money's not everything. So I like to talk about that balance.
Gosh, yeah, that's important, man. I'm glad that you're doing this for your audience, man. It means a lot, because I'm sure that someone's going to listen to it and say, wow, my life is completely not going to be the same now because of this.
Luckily, I've been having these conversations for 20 years. I just now recently decided to put it on a platform just because I felt it's time. But I've had so many conversations with people that pretty much I've mentored in a way. They've come to me, I've talked to them, and they've benefited. And they've told me, and to this day, I still get messages from 10 years ago like, Borris, I appreciate you changed my life for the better. I'm making more money now. You taught me how to do this, and that. And I still appreciate you for this because my life has been better. And that's a big plus to me. I don't advertise it, but I know that I'm doing right. And I said, you know what? I want to do this on a platform now, because if it works on a personal level, it should work on a bigger scale. So I do have people that come out and they'll talk to me, they'll DM me, they'll call me, because I make myself available. I put my phone number online. I do all that just because, you never know who you're going to talk to, and sometimes those conversations change my life. So it's both ways. I'm looking to talk to people that'll teach me just like I'm trying to teach other people.
Man, that's power, dude. Congratulations on that. That's huge.
I appreciate it. And that's what I saw in you, man. I saw this, and I always say this younger gentleman because I just don't see that the younger generation gets it yet. Normally it takes you go through your 20s, and your 20s are confusing and weird up and down, then you hit your 30s and you regret the fact that you thought that, oh, I should have made it by now, whatever that means. I should have made $1 million, and you're still building your career. You're still building your life. And then you get into your 40s, and then that's when your stability should be there. But to see someone in their 20s and on making it and teaching and living that life is amazing, because it's not a common thing ever. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen so many young millionaires in history until now. You know, back then you're always older. Now you have 20, 30-year-old millionaires from the time that they're 20 and on. And you know, that shows me that the culture has changed, the landscape have changed.
And what was the last part you just said?
Oh, that the culture and the landscape of life has changed, because there's so many younger people now that are making it and doing well.
That's why I was sharing with you earlier about the aspect of this economy, where now we're able to progress at such a rapid pace, where essentially, man, you can learn from someone just by off the internet. You know, I have mentors on the internet that I've learned so much from them. It feels like I'm next to them.
Facts, 100%. It's a whole different world. I wonder what 20 years from now is going to look like when it comes to social media and all that. I can't even. I mean, I got another, 55, 60 years of life, so I'll see it. But it's just interesting to think, man, what the hell are we going to get into next?
Oh man, this is going to be fluent, different.
Yeah. It's going to be like, I wonder. Oh well, I know at some point we're going to have autonomous cars. That's going to be fun. I could sleep on the way to work. I don't have to drive anymore. That'll happen. Man, I appreciate you, man. But I want you to plug your stuff. Plug your Instagrams, Facebooks, websites. Where can we find you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Audate, AUDATE. And for the Progression Conference, to learn more about it, go to progressionticket.com. Progressionticket.com.
And your website
is going to be andyaudate.com. But, you know, it's too many websites to share. So I'd say the best place to start is go to progressionticket.com, and that's the best place to start. Sometimes when I hear a website, or like on a podcast, and I hear like 6 of them, I'm like, all right, damn, I don't even know which one to choose. Now you give me too many to choose from. I don't choose any.
I'm gonna put it all in the descriptions anyway. So
that'd be dope.
That way you could, people would just click it, because this streams on about 9 different platforms. So. And that's what I like about Anchor, man. I record this on my phone, and then I literally edit it on the same program, and then I publish it, and it'll put it on all the platforms for me. So it's seamless. You have do you have a podcast as well, or?
Yeah, I have the Progression Show, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I have too many podcasts in my podcast folder. It's insane. I have over 100, and I can't keep up with them. I'm so backlogged. And when I listen to Joe Rogan, they're always 4 hours long. So it's like, all right, he takes up all of my time.
Gotcha.
And last question, and this is what I ask everyone: if you could be any animal, what animal would you be, and why?
I think I'd be an elephant.
That's the first.
Elephant reminds me of straight power. I was straight slow, but progressive domination.
That's the first time I've heard that one. I get a lot of hawks, cats. Not cats, but tigers, lions. This is the first time that I've heard an elephant. And that makes sense, because an elephant can slowly stomp through everything. So it's hard to stop an elephant. Oh, man. All right.
Andy. Yeah, he's hard, very hard. Yeah. For being on your show, man.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out. I love this conversation. Hopefully we can keep it going and help each other grow. And I'm definitely going to see you up top when we both make it there. So
appreciate
we're on
you,
our way.
Appreciate you, buddy. Talk soon.
Later.